Hi, today we're looking at how to read guitar tab or tablature. It's really simple. There's one major thing about it that's confusing for beginners at reading tab, and I'll explain now what that is. So the way tab works, you've got 6 lines. So when you just glance at it, it looks very similar to normal musical standard notation. But that's 5 lines and you have dots on there. You may or may not be able to read notation. This is quite different. There are similarities, but it's a different way of writing music. These 6 lines represent the guitar strings, but the really confusing part is when you're looking at that, if I get my guitar, it's upside down from what you're seeing on my guitar. So as you look at my guitar, you'll see the thickest string, string number 6, is at the top of your, what you're seeing. So the thickest one's at the top. When you look at this tab, the thickest string, string number 6, is the one at the bottom, not the top. And the way to remember that is do what I just did. Put your guitar on your lap, look down at your guitar, and what you'll be seeing is the first string, the thinnest one, will be at the top of your vision. So as I'm looking down at this guitar, it's just on my lap facing upwards, like that. As I'm looking down to it, I'm seeing the thinnest string at the top and the thickest string at the bottom of what I'm looking at. And that's what this is like. Now that's the main thing to remember with tab, and it's the most common mistake that people make when they first start reading tab, is they'll read it upside down. So what I sometimes do, so you can see there, the thickest string is the one at the bottom of what you're looking at. Right, so the way it works is you put a number on the line, and the number represents the fret. So if I get my guitar again, let's say we want to play this, or we want to write down this note here, which is a G. Now the fact it's a G is irrelevant to tab reading, but that's what it happens to be. So it's 3rd fret on the 1st string, the thinnest string. And in case you don't know, that's how the strings are numbered. The thickest one is number 6, thinnest one is number 1. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the 3rd fret of the 1st string, that's the note I want to write down. So I'll do this. Put number 3 on the top line. Now it's just written once, which means that note is just played once. If I wanted you to play this, same note twice, probably going to guess what this is. I just write this. 2 3s. And that just means play that 3, 3rd fret on the 1st string twice. So let's say I wanted to play a 3rd fret note on the 2nd string. So this, 3rd fret, 2nd string. That's going to be this. So the 3 is now on the 2nd line from the top, and on my guitar that's the 2nd string, 1, 2. But it's a 3 because it's in the 3rd fret, 3rd space. So let's have another example. Let's play maybe a 7 on the E string, the thickest string, followed by a 9 on the 5th string. So it's a 7 on that string, and 9 on the 5th string. Written down in tab, that looks like this. Now the 7 is written before the 9 because it happens first. I played the 7 on that string and then I played the 9 afterwards. What about if that was a chord? That actually forms a power chord. So So if I'm playing that as a chord, that's 7 on that string and the 9 on that one. And it's a chord, which happens simultaneously, those two notes, that would be written like this. One on top of the other. So, same notes on the same strings, but these are played separately, that one followed by that one, whereas those are played at the same time. And that's the basics of reading tab. Now, I can do more in-depth lessons about tab reading, and there's lots of musical symbols that are taken from standard notation and then used with tab music as well, and repeat signs and dynamics and all that kind of thing. But that's probably for another lesson really. But if you'd like to see a lesson on that kind of thing, then please let me know in the comments. But this is the basics of reading tab. So the main thing you've got to remember is that upside down thing. As you're looking at this, it's like you're looking down at the guitar on your lap. So that's the thickest string, that's the thinnest one. And the number tells you which fret to play on that string. And with your right hand, you only play that single string. So here, you've got your finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. And with your right hand, if you're right-handed, then you're playing the 2nd string only. You're not strumming the whole lot. But here, you've got 2 fingers on at the same time. One on the 7th fret of the E string, one on the 9th fret of the A string. So with your right hand, you're playing 2 strings at once. So it's a chord. Hope that makes sense. If it does, please click like. If it doesn't, please mention that in the comments, and then I'll do another lesson and try to explain it in a different way. Okay, thanks.